Hello, so today we're going to be using our chalk pastels again to have a go at making our own artworks inspired by some of the work that Georgia O'Keeffe did. So if you look at some of these paintings, they're more abstract, and by abstract we mean that it may not look like something that's recognisable to you, so it may not look exactly like a flower, for example, but you might be able to see what Georgia O'Keeffe has used to inspire her with these abstract artworks. I'll just show you a few examples. Aren't they absolutely beautiful? So this might be a good point to just pause the video and look in the front of your books. You've got vocabulary lists. Which vocabulary would you use to describe some of these wonderful paintings? And what do you think Georgia O'Keeffe has used to inspire her to create these wonderful pieces of work? Okay, so I'll give you a moment. All right, so what did you think? If you guessed that Georgia O'Keeffe used natural forms like plants and flowers to inspire her to do these artworks, then you are correct. This one, for example, this is part of a tulip flower. There's a few petals of a tulip there, as you can see. So I've got the iPad here and I've got a photo of a pink tulip. And as you can see, it's almost as if Georgia O'Keeffe kind of zoomed in on just a certain part of the flower. And if you've got iPads available or other tablets, then it would be a good idea to choose some photos of flowers. And if you zoom in on them, you'll be able to see here are some zoomed in photos already. I just typed in flower close up, and you can see this this one here almost looks kind of abstract, doesn't it? You've just got a few petals, a few leaves, and they're very simple forms to be able to draw. So I hope you noticed that with Georgia O'Keeffe's artwork too. So in terms of words that we might use to describe it, I was thinking about words like naturalistic, organic, curved, flowing, smooth lines that she uses, simplified. So words like this would help us to describe her work, wouldn't they? Here's another one where you might choose to zoom in on a particular area here. And look, you can simplify it just by having just a few shapes on there. And this is what we're going to try and do today in the style of Georgia O'Keeffe. So far, as you know, we've practiced graded tones in pencil, graded tones in pastel and smudging it. We've had a go at copying part of one of Georgia O'Keeffe's flowers. We've also combined two different tones. And we concentrated, if you remember, on just putting warm colours together, or just putting cool colours together, or combining two primary colours, which is what you have here, blue combined with yellow. And we're concentrating on trying to make one petal look like it was in front of another by creating shadow with darker areas, and the lighter areas were added with a rubber, weren't they? Okay, so we're going to use the same techniques today. We're going to use the same techniques to have a go at doing something similar with the work that Georgia O'Keeffe did. So if we take a look at this one, for example, we could use a viewfinder, couldn't we? Or if you've got an iPad, you might zoom in on a particular area. And we're just going to have a go at just doing a few kind of simple lines. So we're not worried about it looking like a flower at all. We're looking for something a bit more abstract, something inspired by the natural world, inspired by flowers and plants. So we're looking for those smooth, flowing, curved lines. We're not looking for straight or jagged lines today. And we're going to combine the different things that we've learned. So as you can see, there's some graded tones in here. It starts off dark at one edge there. It's sort of reddish there, and then it fades into yellow. And look, I can see where Georgia O'Keeffe has kind of removed some of the paint here and made it a bit whiter. Well, we can remove some of the pastel, can't we, and make it a bit whiter with the rubber. The same things happened here, as we can see. Okay, so that's what we're going to have a go at today. So I'm going to start by using this picture. It's probably a good idea to have one each and cut this out and stick it in your books, probably on the left page. So you need two clear pages together, and then you'll be working on the right page. Either that or stick it on the right page and you're working on the left page. Now I've got a viewfinder here. You might have one, you might not have one. You could choose to focus on a certain area of it, or you could go for the whole thing. I think I'll probably focus just on a certain area. I do like this central bit here. I'll leave the viewfinder off it though, and I'll just concentrate on this area here. I'm going to try and draw it a little bit bigger than what it is. I'll try and fill a lot of the page. It'll be easier for me to use the pastels on larger areas because the chalks are quite big. So remember, I'm not doing straight lines. I've got my 2B sketching pencil. I do lots of lines. I don't press really hard. I'm holding it like this. Yeah, I'm not holding it in the way that you would to write. When you're writing, you'd pick it up like this, wouldn't you? And flip it over and it would be like this. But I'm sketching, so I'm going to hold it halfway down like this. And what it does is it stops me pressing really hard. It's difficult to press down hard when you're holding the pencil like this. So it's a good way to hold it. Next step then is I could follow the colours that are there. It might be easier. But if for example you want the red and the orange and your partner's got the red and the orange, you could choose different colours for different areas. You don't have to stick to those colours. But when we look at the way Georgia O'Keeffe has done it, if we look at the colour combinations that she's used then, so here that's blue, isn't it? And there's a darker colour that's gone with it. It could be black, there's black in the background. It could be black that's made it kind of greyish there. It could be a darker blue. Also here you've got yellow, haven't you? Yellow combined with either red or orange, and we already know that works. Then you've got a kind of like a pinkish purple colour, I suppose magenta you might call it, that fades. I think that's all the same colour, but it's been made darker by pressing harder in some places. We'll see if we can get that to work. And then you've got the blue again, as over there, with that little bit of grey on it, which I think was probably created with black. Yeah, and over here, this looks like mostly all one colour. This looks like red that has gone through a graded tone, so it's pressed harder and gone lighter and lighter over here. And a little bit of black and a little bit of purple has been introduced to that as well. So as we said before, you put warm colours together, as Georgia O'Keeffe has done here, or you put cool colours together, as she's done there. Or the other option is to put two primary colours together, as we have done in the past, as we said before, with blue and yellow there. Okay, so let's get cracking. I'll start off with a light colour. I'm going to, I think I'm going to start off here at the top. The reason I'm starting at the top is as you work your way down, you won't smudge the thing that's above. If you start, say, in the middle and then go to the top, your hand will touch the middle and you'll smudge all the fantastic work you've already done. That might not be a bad thing, but you might think to yourself, oh, I don't like it, and you might find yourself redoing that section. So I'm going to just stick to the way Georgia O'Keeffe has done it. Now, with these chalk pastels we've got, these are the kind of cheap own brand ones, I think, that come from the normal ordering catalogue that we use in school, and they've got a kind of coating on them. If you rub hard enough, that'll come off and you can use it on its side. I've said to the children that I don't mind if you break some of these pastels in half. They're easy enough to break, and that way they're easier to share, but they're also easier to use on the side like that. You can cover more. You can cover a larger area more quickly, and look at the difference. If I just do it on its side like that, it becomes more kind of scribbly, I suppose, in a way, and scratchy. But if I use it on its side like that, it actually is less scribbly. So I start off with whatever the lightest tone is. The blue is the lightest tone there. I do that all over, smudge it as we normally do. Okay, And then I look at where the darker tones are. So you do the mid-tone, don't you? Which is halfway between dark and light, like this. You look for the darker areas, and you can make those darker, first of all, with the colour that you've got, so with blue. So at the edge here, it's darker around this edge. I'm not trying to follow exactly how Georgia O'Keeffe is doing hers. I'm not interested in an exact copy. What I'm interested in is starting off is these curvy, smooth flowing lines that kind of look organic and natural, inspired by flowers, and graded tones. So starting off dark and making it go lighter and lighter. Look, I've started off dark. If I blend them together with my finger, there we go. We've got a dark area moving into a lighter area. Okay, just like that. All right, it doesn't look exactly the way Georgia O'Keeffe has done it, but I like it. I've got a graded tone. There we go. Now I'm going to use the rubber, and I'm going to have, I think it's light kind of in the middle, isn't it, of this shape. So I'm going to just gently rub away some of the middle section here. And hopefully I'll start to make this shape look like it's kind of almost like a tube kind of shape. Blow away the bits of rubber and just blend with my finger again, smudge a bit with my finger. So I'm not pressing hard with the rubber. It's going quite lightly. There we go. Now, I could also make it dark on the other edge, dark I mean. And you should see that it starts to look a bit more three-dimensional, this shape. So I've gone dark on both edges, blended it in with my finger, and I've introduced some light into the middle of the shape. Now, if you start to lose some of that light, no problem, just get your rubber again. So sometimes the highlights kind of disappear just because you're smudging and your hand touches it. And there you go. So first shape done. Once again, we go through the same process. I've changed colour now, so I always start with the lightest tone. So the lightest tone here is yellow, and I'm going to try and put it on its side. And if you press hard enough, like I said, whatever little kind of coating is on the pastel will come off. Sometimes you really have to really go at it for a bit though. And inside that shape, see how quickly I was able to do that because I used it on its side. If I'm going to do it like this, it's going to take a much longer and it will look scribbly. Blow away the dust, smudge, smudge, smudge. I'm trying not to smudge over where it joins the blue, just because I know that when it mixes with the blue, it'll turn green. And I want to use this orangey colour, this lovely orangey colour at the side. So I'm going to start with red. As you can see here, it's kind of reddy orange here. I'm going to do that. And it also kind of blends into the blue and looks purple there. So let's see if we can get that to work as well. So once again, I start off by doing a dark line. I'm following the line that I drew with the pencil. Blow the dust away and then get my finger and blend it in. Now, you might have to be careful with what's on your finger. So I've got blue on that finger, but this finger's yellow. So I'm going to use the yellow finger. If I put blue on it, it'll kind of blend it into, it'll mix with the yellow and make green, won't it? It's not such a big problem, but it helps to make the colours a bit cleaner. Okay, so it looks like it's going a little bit brownish there. Don't really like the way that's going so far. So what do I do about it? Well, I can just go back in with the red. One of the good things about pastels is that you can use it in layers. So I can make it red again over the top, and this time maybe not smudge it, or just not smudge it as much. I think it'd be nice to have highlight into that gap there. That kind of central bit. I'll put that in. And then I'll make it light in the middle. See, it's light there and down here. So I'll give that a go. I'm blowing away the rubber. Okay, yeah, quite pleased with that. When you're layering colours, putting one on top of the other, only ever do two. If I put a third one into that, it will go very dark, very dull, and kind of often a muddy sort of colour. Often starts to turn brown. Okay, yeah, okay, I like that. So you can see here, this is probably, now we're getting to the darkest areas, aren't we? So this is where I will end up pressing harder. Yeah, just in that area there, I'll press harder. But what I want to do is fill this shape first. I should have done this before I did that. Fill the shape first with a mid-tone with this pink colour will do, I think. And I'm going to start my graded tone. I'm going to start off dark. Now, here's what some people end up doing. When they're doing a graded tone, they start off dark and then they just leave it like that, where the dark suddenly goes into a lighter area. Graded means it gradually gets lighter and lighter. And how do you do that? Well, we've practiced, haven't we? You press lighter and lighter, take your time, and lighter and lighter. And there you go. Starts off dark and gets lighter and lighter. And then, of course, blow away the chalk dust and give it a smudge. Maybe don't smudge the really dark bits. You could leave them as they are. And you'll see that purple just fades into this lovely pink colour. Okay, and once again, I can see that there's a highlight there, just on that edge. So I'm going to put that in. Blow away the rubber. There we go. And then look closely at the picture. We've got a dark area here, right next to this kind of ball shape in the middle. And so I'm going to start off dark. And as I come around, just as we did here, I'm going to press lighter and lighter and lighter. There we go. Blend those two areas together. And again, I'll put a highlight in. You can see it's a bit lighter on that top edge there, so I'll do a bit like that. And again, with the rubber, you can also help with the graded zone by pressing hard for the really light bits and press lighter with the rubber. And that'll help with the graded tone too. Right, I like that so far, but it's really dark in these places here, pretty much black. So I am going to get the black and give that a go. And it'll help to create a bit more shadow. I can see a black line there. So black, I'm only going to use it in these darkest areas. If I start using it to colour whole areas, it suddenly makes the picture quite dull and changes the mood of it too. Instead of it being kind of colourful, vibrant, joyful picture, it becomes a bit more dark and moody. And I don't want that for this picture. You might decide otherwise in yours. There we go. So I've done black there, but look, it's not blended, is it? It just goes black to blue. So all I do is smudge those together a little bit. You'll find that some of the blue starts to turn a bit grey. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking that so far. So now I'm going to look at the whole thing and look at bits that I think that bit could do with being a bit darker, that could do with a bit being a bit lighter. This here, where this orangey line stops and the purple pink starts there, I think I want kind of more of a harder edge there. So I'm going to get the red and press harder there. And blend it in. Look, I had black on my finger there and the black got on it. So I have to find a different finger. Look, I've just picked up a bit of the black there and it's smudged across. If that happens, that's all right. You can rub it away. You can leave it if you like it. You can add more of the original colour to it. You've lost some of that colour. Okay, I'm just going to blend that black line downwards like that. There you go. Right, I think that looks a bit better now. Okay, I'm going to make a hard edge. I'm going to get another green. And I'm going to press lighter and lighter and lighter. Good, I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to go lighter and lighter and lighter. And then I'm going to blow it away, blend them together a bit. Okay, I'll put a highlight in the middle of that as well. Okay, now to really bring that shape forward, I could create a little bit of shadow. So I do a hard green line here. And hopefully it makes this lighter shape come forwards a little bit and the green shapes go backwards. Yeah, not bad. If it's not working the way you want it to though, get the black. And just do a black line around it. And then smudge that black line and blend it with the background colour. And then it really will start to come forwards like that. Okay, so there you go. So there's one example of how we can use graded tones to create something that is organic looking, inspired by nature, inspired by flowers and plants, and also inspired by Georgia O'Keeffe, of course. We've kept it nice and simple. Okay, so once you've done had a go at one, there are other photos there that you could try out, and you could just focus on different sections, and it's the same approach. You're just choosing part of a photo, and you're just using graded tones. You're starting off with your mid-tone, aren't you? And then you're adding some dark areas and some highlights, like there, for example, with your rubber. So yeah, give that a go, and once you've done one, have a go at another one. Not the whole thing, of course, just choose a part of it and have a go. All right, good luck.